Hello, I'm Izzy Zaidman, and I am asking you to help contribute and make real my musical recording project called the Djangobilly Project, which is going to be a American roots tribute to the great early jazz guitar player Django Reinhardt. Wikipedia says that Django Reinhardt is, quote, often regarded as the most important of early European jazz musicians who made major contributions to the idiom. Well, I would say that that's true, and he's also one of my personal favorite guitar players. In France, his repertoire and style have left a living legacy of what's most commonly known as gypsy jazz music, or manouche. Chet Atkins once called Django Reinhardt the most influential guitar player of the 20th century. Now, there's plenty of other guitar players that I could quote saying great things about Django Reinhardt, but my point is that early American country and rockabilly guitar players were very influenced by this French gypsy. That's not always obvious in the music that they recorded, but he was an influence in their playing nonetheless. Early great guitar players such as Joe Maphis, Les Paul, Scotty Moore, Dick Dale, The Ventures, Doc Watson, Jerry Reed, you name it, have all been influenced by Django Reinhardt and would claim so. This leads me to the focus of the Djangobilly Project, which is a modern American roots music tribute to Django Reinhardt. All of the material is going to be Django's original compositions, which are oftentimes overlooked, and it's going to be performed by the best rockabilly and bluegrass musicians I can get my hands on. Over the years, I've personally had the great pleasure of meeting some of the finest musicians in rockabilly and trad jazz music, as well as bluegrass, and I can't include all of them on this recording project, but I'm really excited about the killer list of guys that have agreed to do this because they all love Django Reinhardt and they all think it's going to be a really fun project, and I hope that you think it's a fun project too. I'm going to briefly introduce you to each one of the guys that's already agreed to be part of this here. Kenny Vaughn is a Nashville sideman of the most famous and highest order. He's most notably played with Lucinda Williams, Rosie Flores, Patty Loveless, and he's currently the guitar player in Marty Stewart's band. Kingman is the guitar player for Big Sandy and his Fly-Rite Boys. They are an amazing band that's been around for 20 years and easily one of the most visible and well-respected bands on the rockabilly circuit.
Oh, hallelujah now. Brother Kingman, take it.
Danny B. Harvey is a legendary Texas rockabilly guitar player who has been on the scene and in every facet of rockabilly in America for the last 30 years. He also produced and played with Wanda Jackson, who is the most notable and important female singer in rockabilly, and he currently tours with a band called Headcat, which features Lemmy from Motorhead and Slim Jim Phantom from the Stray Cats, and you should check them out, and he's fantastic. Michael Cleveland is one of the most jaw-dropping bluegrass fiddlers alive today. I've seen him many times over the years, but I never thought to ask him to play until a mutual friend of ours, Mark O'Connor, suggested that he would be good for the project, and Katie Rose Cox got us in touch. I was thrilled when he agreed to do this. He's an absolutely outstanding fiddle player that's won the IBMA's Fiddle Player of the Year award for 1,000,000 years in a row, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to throw down on this record. As you may know, Django Reinhardt's best musical buddy was Stefan Grappelli, and who was a fiddle player, and I'm very excited to see what Stefan Grappelli licks come out of Michael Cleveland or don't, and I'm really excited to have him be part of this. Djorde Stijepovic, I believe I'm saying that right, is a good friend of mine, and Paul Pigat. These are two guys that I've approached individually. Djorde is the only bassist that I've singled out for this project. He's toured with the classic country legend Deke Dickerson, as well as the aforementioned Head Cat with Lemmy and Slim Jim and Danny B. Harvey. He currently tours with the LA-based band Fish Tank Ensemble, which are an incredible band as well. And he's a slap bass master par excellence above all. Paul Pigat is an incredible guitar player who's perfectly crafted in the rockabilly style. If you punch in rockabilly guitar to YouTube, his instructional tape is one of the first things that comes up, and that's for very good reason. So I approached Paul and Djorde each individually for this project, and as it turned out, they were planning on doing a collaborative project later on in the fall of this year. So it's going to work out perfectly that they're going to collaborate on this as well. So between the two of them doing a Django Reinhardt song, I have every faith that it's going to be an incredible, incredible tune. Eddie Biebel. Eddie was the guitar player in Wayne the Train Hancock's band right before I was. And he's a master guitar player in every way, but specifically when it comes to the hillbilly boogie style of guitar playing and really being an encyclopedia of all those licks and stylistic master, he's probably the one that I would single out the most as being the most authentic in terms of his technique and taste. I'm really excited to have Eddie be part of the project, and he's got his own ideas about what he's going to do, and I'm excited to see what comes from him. Dennis Lichtman is one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world, and a musician that I've probably played more gigs with than anybody else. He's currently the band leader in a western swing band here in Brooklyn called the Brain Cloud Band, but he also runs a band and a jam night at Mona's called the Mona's Hot 4. This is easily the hottest night for trad jazz happening anywhere in the country, and I've been a lot of places in the country, and it's an awesome night. If you're ever in New York City, come down to Mona's on a Tuesday and see Dennis and the boys. Dennis is equally as adept on the fiddle as he is on a mandolin and clarinet. He has agreed not just to be playing on this CD, but he's also going to help me with a lot of the arrangements, and I'm really, really thrilled to be able to work tightly with him on this project. Levinson is about as fine a clarinet player as the world has to offer. He's really the only guy I'm borrowing from the jazz world. Now, Django Reinhardt had clarinet featured very prominently on many of his recordings, and whereas it's a little hard to get your hands on a rockabilly clarinet player, Dan Levinson, I think, is the best guy to fill that spot. No matter where you go in the world, if you are going to see a Benny Goodman tribute or an Artie Shaw tribute of any significant note, there's an 8 out of 10 chance that Dan Levinson is the one that's playing that role. He's also been the main player in Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks band for many, many years, and is a world-class clarinetist who has agreed to be part of this, and I'm thrilled. Anderson is a great guitar player from Chicago that leads a band called the Modern Sound, and they are hot. You got to check these guys out. His style is a very perfect blend of rockabilly, early jazz, and early country. They've opened up for Jeff Beck as well as been Deke Dickerson's backup band, and I really can't wait to hear what they're going to throw down on this record. Alright, I'm going to save the best for last. Scotty Anderson is my current favorite living guitar player. He's the star of the Hot Licks tape, Red Hot Guitar, and even though his credits don't really go much past that, amongst rockabilly and country guitar players, he's one of the most revered and feared names that a person could possibly mention. He comes from a very Chet Atkins background, but has taken his playing to the most dazzling points that a person ever could hope to imagine. In terms of style and mastery and control over the instrument, I believe he's completely unparalleled in the guitar world as a whole, and specifically within rockabilly and country styles, he's at the top. He's agreed to be part of this recording, but is oftentimes a little hard to nail down. So I'm hoping with your help I'll be able to get him in the studio and make a truly legendary moment happen. Material is going to be Django Reinhardt's original stuff, which is going to add, I think, another level of interest to what goes on here. So it's not going to be stuff that Django Reinhardt played on, but stuff that he actually wrote. These guys are going to be free to interpret material any way that they want to, but I think it's going to really add a lot of richness to what's being done. We've got some really fun backer rewards that you are going to find on our Kickstarter page, and I'm asking you very, very sincerely for your help in making this happen. This will undoubtedly be the most raucous and fun tribute to this venerable master of the guitar that's ever been done. Thank you. I'm Izzy Zaidman.